what happened today. Um, we we w- I'm coming to you today to talk about what the president said today. Um, I it's still a little shocking. Well, not shocking. Unfortunately, it's just really hard to see. Um, I think that we're seeing a situation where the president, a bunch of senators, I believe it, Leslie Slotkin from Michigan, Mark Kelly from Arizona, Chris Deluzio, who's a representative from Pennsylvania, and several other members of Congress that are veterans, um, released a video a few days ago talking about this, talking about how we need to avoid telling military people to not follow orders that are illegal. It's a very simple thing. Follow the law. Don't disobey the law. It's not easy. I understand that these people are everyday citizens that wanted to fight for this country. And I don't think it's hard to fathom the thought that your own president, your own government is telling you to do things against your own people. You feel like you have to do it because you think that there's going to be legal ramifications that you can't afford. But the truth is that these senators and members of Congress are saying you legally do not have to tell these orders. So they did that video. Trump today posted something on Truth Social saying that these members of Congress, these sitting members of Congress in both the Senate and the House, should be arrested and tried for sedition. Now, that's problematic on its own. You have the situation where you're calling on for members of Congress to be arrested for telling ordinary citizens to follow the law. Unfortunately, it's not surprising that Trump has decided to call on investigations into his political opponents. That's nothing new. Look at James Comey. Look at Letitia James. Look at LaMonica McIver in New Jersey. Look at a lot of other cases. Look at Adam Schiff potentially in California. But then one of his followers on Truth Social posted saying they should all be hanged. He reposted this. The President of the United States of America reposted something calling on members of our legislative body to be hanged. I want to make that very clear. And that's, to my knowledge, it's never been done before in the history of American presidents. If it has, it might have been during the Civil War, but I don't know Abraham Lincoln wouldn't have done that. So yeah, I don't think that's ever happened before in American history. To make things worse, you had a situation where Donald Trump then posted it on himself. Like he posted himself. The other post was a post on, I guess, on behalf of like someone else. He was just resharing it. Then he posted something with his own words saying that seditious conspiracy can be punished with death penalty. So, if it wasn't mistakenly clear before, he has now called for the murder, for the hanging of 2 senators and several members of Congress. This comes at a time when earlier this week he had called, when he was asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene's death threats that she had received due to him calling her a traitor and various other names. He said, "I don't care." He says, "Not many people care about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She brings it on herself." This comes during the campaign when he called members of the Democratic Party and Americans who voted against him enemies within and vermin and lots of other disgusting names. And so I think that you're seeing an increased level of violence. Obviously, you see violence happening all across the country, political violence. You saw Melissa Hortman, in Minnesota. You saw Charlie Kirk in Utah. You saw Josh Shapiro's house get attacked with an arson attack. You had all these mass shootings. He says we have a issue of political violence, non-political violence in our country. This is not helped whenever a politician of either party or an individual of either party goes after anyone else. Then when the president of the United States does something like this, it's irresponsible, it's dangerous, and there should be mass condemnation for things like this to be happening. So I think that is a problem. I think that we're seeing a situation where we are. I don't even know how to describe the moment we're in today. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. When I read this, it didn't shock me to the extent like that. I'm surprised Trump said it. It surprised me to the extent that we have a situation where we have a president that it doesn't surprise me that he said this. We have a president who called for the extermination of members of Congress and the Senate. And I know I keep repeating this, but it's an awful thing that this keeps happening. And I don't know how we get through this if we keep electing. I'm just going to say it. He's a fascist. This guy is a fascist. He is a wannabe dictator. And now I have not seen any. I've seen only Democrats so far condemning this. Every Democrat, to my knowledge, has condemned this. Now, I will say, I don't know if the funeral for Dick Cheney is still going on. A lot of people that might normally condemn this might still be at that funeral. But the people that aren't there, when this funeral ends, if it hasn't ended already, every single Republican should not only just be calling this out for this is political intimidation, political violence, and just plain evil. What Trump did today, what Trump did earlier this week, what Trump's been doing for the last 10 years has been evil thing after evil thing after evil thing. And if this is taking it to a whole new level that he's never actually taken it. And if Republicans can't condemn it, and frankly, I'm personally of the view that they should be calling for his resignation. The resignation of Donald Trump should come after he called for the murder of members of Congress. Because clearly Republicans don't care if we are killing people in detainment centers. They don't care if we're killing other people. They care if we're killing. But the thing is, you would think they might care if they were killing their colleagues or talking about killing their colleagues. If these people have any moral character left in their bodies, they should be calling for the immediate resignation of both Donald Trump and whoever else accepts this as a good thing for the American people. And if you call yourself a moderate Republican, if you call yourself a centrist, if you call yourself an anti-Trump Republican that's currently in this Congress, you should have no problem condemning this for what this is and calling for him to resign. At least condemning it if you can't call on him to resign. This is basic humanity. This is not a Trump disgustingly calling a reporter piggy. This is calling for the murder of senators and congresspeople because they had the audacity to tell civilians that fight with their lives that they don't have to commit crimes against fellow Americans. That is what Trump threatened their lives over. They said you have to follow the law and you don't have to follow them telling you to break it. That's what got Trump this angry and calling for the murder of members of Congress. And I don't know what I don't know how we proceed from here. I don't know. Obviously, the Capitol Police are gonna have to be at higher alert. Sergeant Arms are gonna have to be at higher alert. I personally been at the view that that it's a matter of time before another atrocious act like what happened to the state senators in Minnesota, Charlie Cook in Utah, and other things. If it happens again, I would not be surprised. And Trump will go after anyone and everyone that goes after him, Democrat, Republican, Independent. There's nothing separating him and basic humanity and making decisions that are smart for the American people. He will do anything to preserve himself. It is not a coincidence that all this stuff is happening when the House and the Senate pretty much voted close to unanimously in both chambers to release the files that he is in. This is, yes, this is dangerous. This is disgusting. This is horrendous and he must resign. But this is a distraction for him. This is a distraction from his Virginia attorney, Lindsay Halligan, who yesterday admitted that she had illegally gotten the indictment for James Comey. This is a distraction from the Epstein files that he is in. This is a distraction for the horrendous economy that he has brought on the American people. This is all a distraction because Donald Trump and his small little ego can't withstand criticism and attacks on things that he said he was going to fix, or he was going to release, or he was going to address. This is a man who, and don't think that he is being hyperbolic about this whole let's murder senators thing. This is the guy who just blamed the reporter who got chopped up into pieces using a bone saw. An American reporter killed years ago by the Saudi Arabian government. He attacked the reporter in front of the Saudi Arabian crown prince because he has an impending real estate deal that he's trying to get done in Saudi Arabia. And if he attacks them for the murderous, disgusting human beings that lead that country, he might not get that deal. So he's going to kiss the behinds of whoever can get him his next corrupt deal, or his family the next corrupt deal. And if that involves saying that a American reporter who was simply just doing their job of reporting, if that means that he has to defend them getting chopped up with a bone saw and put into suitcases, he will happily do whatever it takes. This is a man that has every single element of basic humanity has left his body if it was ever there. He is desperate. He is evil. He is not a good man. He is disastrous for this country. The thing is, Democrats, not surprisingly, they have universally condemned. From AOC to John Fetterman have all condemned this rhetoric, said it's hateful, said it's violent, said it's problematic, said it's not becoming of the office of the presidency. It's not the becoming of the office of a basic human decency. The thing is, I don't want to hear a single Republican. If you are a Republican and you come and you were at the funeral, and at the end of this day, you have not made a statement condemning this behavior, this statement, I don't want to ever hear you talk about being pro-life ever again. You are not pro-life if you support the extermination of anyone, whether it's a member of Congress, a child in their schools, or any other person in America. You are not pro-life. You're not. You're pro-controlling people. And that is what this party does. This is what this, I'm not talking about the voters. I'm talking about the politicians that have, first of all, they've changed what being a Republican means. They changed what Reagan meant the party to be. And they even changed what Bush meant the party to be. They changed what Romney wanted to be. The Tea Party no longer represents what the current Republican Party is. The Tea Party. And the Tea Party was now whispering they were not moderates. I just want to say that I think that we are in a situation where I wish that I could say that we could count on Republicans to do the right thing, say the right thing, fight for the right things. But the thing is, we are in a place where there's more focused on political unity than political moral clarity. And the fact that is the thing makes me, it's sad. I'm proud that, I'm proud to be an American as an idea. As the current America stands, it is deeply disappointing to be an American right now. I think that it is hard to say that as someone who has always, no matter what's happened, been proud to be an American, but it's hard to say. But I think that is unfortunately the way it is. Also, it was just reported the U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas, nooses, or Confederate flags as hate symbols. They might be potentially divisive, though. This is disgusting. We have a government telling us that the swastika, the symbol of the Nazis, nooses, which have predominantly been used as a hate symbol, as a element of a tool of hate to hang people. On the same day he called for the murder and the hanging of members of Congress, his Coast Guard is saying that swastikas, nooses, and Confederate flags will no longer be classified as hate symbols. This is a pro-hate, pro-racism, pro-bigotry, anti-American administration. It's fascist. It's a wannabe dictator. And I think that if you are a Democrat, you should have no problem being able to say that this isn't fascist administration. This is no longer about saving the Republican Party. The Republican Party has chosen time and time again over the last 10 years that they do not want to be saved, and that they've dived deeper into the hate, extremism, also they can get a few Supreme Court seats, and so they can get tax cuts for the rich. That is what is currently happening in this current administration, and they don't care. They do not care if they don't care about any of it. And I think that is very telling. I wish that it was true, that was not the case, but I think that unfortunately it is. But I think that it's hard to know how we survive this, I still maintain that I think that we could make it through this as a country, but I don't see how it happens if he does not leave. I don't see how it happens. We need to fix the political violence epidemic in our country. We need to fix the level of bigotry in this country. But if we have a president and a party that refuses to condemn that president, espousing these hateful beliefs, then we have no chance at redemption. If we can't at least have, that's why Democrats have to have a moment of extreme clarity on this issue. We need to move. We need to be clear. We need to be clear about what this party stands for. It is an abomination. It's an abomination that this is where we are as a country, and the fact that we have a Republican Party that refuses to condemn what this president has been saying for the last 10 years, far be it the last few months, last few days, the last few everything. It is deeply disturbing that this is where we are as a country. But the thing is, I think that sorry, let me just put you down for a second. I just have to do one thing to tell people to join. Sorry, guys. I am just making sure that people know so we can have a conversation about this. But so the thing is, I think that, does anyone have any questions or things that they want me to address, or anything that they want me to address? I think that it is deeply disturbing that this is the way that we're doing things here in America. Yeah, I think that it just, do we have any questions, concerns, comments? If not, I will keep talking. I think that, I think that it's a it's a moral crisis that we're facing currently with this current government. And it's disturbing that this is kind of where we are as a country, as two political parties. And I think that we need leaders that can make that, first of all, fix that problem. But more importantly, it matters that the voters address this. And I think that the voters need to show up in November of next year. They have to show up in every special election in between now and then. They have to show up wherever and however is necessary. Show up to protest. Heck, boycott businesses that join this bigoted fascist party. Do what you need to do. Obviously prioritize safety, prioritize your budget, do what you need to do. But if you are in the position to protest, to phone bank, to campaign, to run for office, if that in your local area, I plead with you to do so. I think we are in a moment where everyone needs to get involved, and if in whatever way that means for you. And I think that we need to understand that that's the moment we're in right now. And I think that we have a situation where I think that it's a travesty that we can't seem to understand basic understanding of how, I don't know. I think that we have a situation where we can't seem to understand that what's happening right now is not normal, even if it's become normalized. And if that is not understood, then I don't know what type of hope we might have. But but I think that we need to figure this out soon. But I think that I feel like that we have a situation where that we need to kind of just we just need to kind of recalibrate somewhat. I don't know. I think that I don't want to be rambling on forever. And I think that I'll probably go for like another few minutes unless more people join or people have questions. But I think that we need leaders to lead in both parties. We need people to show that this is not a normal moment. We need people to show up to vote. We need people to call in members of Congress. We need people to condemn this. We need Republicans to stand up for something other than the billionaires and their donors and Nick Fuentes and the other racists in their party. We need people to stand up for what truly matters, and that's basic civility. We don't have to agree on healthcare. We don't have to agree on policy, but can we at least agree that we should not be calling for the murder of each other? Should be basic decency 101. I think that we need to understand that this is a moment where we must all come together, Democrat, Republican, Independent, far left, far right, centrist. We all need to come together and condemn political violent rhetoric and political violence. And if we can't do that as a country, I don't know what type of hope we have. This is not I try to add optimism to every conversation. I don't have any on this particular issue right now. I will have hopefully things get better before, but I have a feeling they're going to get worse before they get better. I think that, I don't know. I just think that, I don't know. But I will have an issue later today. A new post later today. I'll likely discuss this. I might have a column about something different, but I'm gonna sign off, and I hope you have a great day. I urge you to share this video, subscribe, and remember to fight. We need to stay in this fight together. We are in this fight together, and this Substack, this community is not about you. It's not about me. It's about we, the people. I know that sounds like a cringy line, but it's the only way we survive this. So yes, please subscribe, please share, please do whatever you can to support me and fellow Substackers in their fight for democracy and basic civility being returned to our politics. And with that, I'll sign off. Have a great day.